All right, so a lot of you have been caught up in that massive fraud, and because of it, you're not getting your unemployment benefits, as you know we've been telling you and as you already know. But Lisa says, I filed for unemployment on April 1st and started receiving payments within a week or so. Great. Then on May 18th, I received notification that they could not confirm my identity and would stop payments, and I may have to repay what I already received. Well, as we've been telling you, Lisa is not alone there, and this morning we do have a little more guidance that we want to tell you about. So as of Wednesday, we know that the ESD shifted 300 staff members onto cases like Lisa's. And then next week, as we've mentioned, the National Guard is expected to help with the ESD with like verifying IDs, things like that. But here's what happened. Around May 15th, about 200,000 claims were generated, which the ESD reduced to more than half. But then, as we mentioned, roughly 42,000 people were receiving benefits before then, and then their payments suddenly became paused while the ESD investigated for fraud. So now the ESD is saying that that group of people will have their claims resolved by June 19th.
And I use that term resolved very deliberately because some are legitimate and they will be allowed, and some are not and they will be denied.
Well, Levine says that the rest of those payments have other issues that were already holding up their payments. And then there were others with more recent flags that just need a closer look. Also, we know this week, and we've reported this, that the state auditor's office announced it will be looking into the ESD and why there were improper and delayed payments. And I know a lot of people want those answers. So again, if your payment was delayed, let's say about a month ago, chances are you will have your case resolved by June 19th, which is just 1 week away, if you can hold on. And in the meantime, if you are getting an overpayments notice, which we have mentioned also, a lot of people are saying, hey, you have to pay this money back to the ESD. Well, Levine's actual words were ignore it. Ignore those overpayment notices if you were an actual fraud victim. You will not have to repay that money, and it will not impact your unemployment benefits at all. But if you want to read more, you can text the word money to 206-448-4545. And Jake, it was interesting because I read all the emails that we get, and someone said, hey, I think that it was irresponsible for you to say ignore the overpayment notice. But the truth is, those were the exact words from Susie Levine. If you have an overpayment notice and you were a victim of fraud, ignore it. Just don't do anything with it.
All right. Well, that's actually comforting to hear her say that as well. Just do nothing. Yeah.